There's a moment many people experience in silence, a moment they rarely confess out loud, a moment where they begin to wonder if something might be wrong with them. They wake up feeling heavy. They move slowly. They stare at tasks they know they should do, but their body doesn't respond. They feel unmotivated, drained, unfocused, overwhelmed, or frozen. And the world, of course, calls it laziness. Family calls it lack of discipline. Society calls it weakness. Even their own mind repeats the message loudly. Why can't I just do things like everyone else? But inside, something deeper is happening. And it's not laziness. It's not failure. It's not a character flaw. It's a trauma response, one that has been misunderstood for so long that people blame themselves for symptoms they never chose. When someone has lived through chronic stress, emotional neglect, high pressure, unpredictable environments, or moments where their body had to stay alert for too long, the nervous system reorganizes itself around survival. Not success, not productivity, survival. And survival energy doesn't look like motivation. It looks like shutdown. It looks like exhaustion. It looks like procrastination. It looks like numbness. It looks like I want to do things, but I can't make my body move. It looks like I care, but I can't act. It looks like I'm overwhelmed even by simple tasks. These are not signs of laziness. They are signs that the nervous system has been in overdrive for too long. Think of it like this. If the body believes danger is constant, it eventually hits the brakes hard. This freeze response is one of the most ancient mechanisms humans have. When fight and flight are exhausted, the body chooses shutdown. Not on purpose, not consciously, but biologically. The shutdown keeps you alive when you have no more energy to fight for your life emotionally, mentally, or physically. And many people live in this shutdown without knowing why. Imagine someone named Alex. Alex has always been told they are smart but unmotivated. They hear it in school, in relationships, in workplaces, and they start to believe it. But what people don't see is that Alex grew up in a home where perfection was demanded, where mistakes were punished, where rest was criticized, and where love depended on performance. Alex learned early that existing wasn't enough. They had to prove themselves constantly. And so their nervous system stayed tense for years, decades even. Now, every time Alex sits down to start something new, their body shuts down. Not because they don't care, but because their system associates tasks with pressure, criticism, and emotional danger. Or consider someone like Maya. Maya isn't lazy either. She simply learned to survive by becoming invisible. Maybe conflict in her childhood home was unpredictable. Maybe emotions were thrown like weapons. Maybe she spent her childhood walking on eggshells. So avoidance became her safety strategy. Now, as an adult, when she faces responsibilities, her body automatically chooses the safest thing it knows: avoidance. Her mind says, "I'll do it later," but her body is actually saying, "I'm protecting you. Please don't push." It's a trauma response disguised as procrastination. And then there's another group of people, those who were always the strong ones, the reliable ones, the ones who carried too much responsibility too early. They grew up fast. They took care of others. They handled crises no child should have handled. And now, in adulthood, they collapse quietly when no one is watching. Their body is not lazy, it's tired. Beyond tired. It's asking, begging, whispering, "Can I rest now? Just for a moment?" But because they are used to holding everything alone, they feel guilty for resting. They punish themselves for slowing down. And the shutdown deepens. The world sees laziness, but the body sees protection. One of the biggest misunderstandings in psychology and spirituality is the belief that willpower is stronger than trauma. It isn't. Willpower can force action for a day, a week, maybe a month. But trauma always pulls the body back to what feels safest. And here's a painful truth many people don't realize. To the traumatized nervous system, stillness feels safer than progress. Because progress threatens the familiar. Progress asks for energy the system doesn't have. Progress demands emotional exposure. Progress awakens the beliefs that say, "If I grow, I lose people," or "If I try, I will fail," or "If I shine, I'll be criticized," or "If I show up, I'll be seen." And being seen has never been safe. This is why someone can want change desperately, yet feel paralyzed. The wanting lives in the mind. The fear lives in the body. And the body always wins. Let's go deeper. When trauma remains unresolved, The nervous system becomes hypersensitive to perceived danger. Tasks that seem small to others, sending an email, making a phone call, folding laundry, starting a project, feel enormous. Not because the task is hard, but because the body associates responsibility with threat. The brain begins to interpret normal life as overwhelming. This is called functional freeze, and it is one of the most invisible trauma symptoms people experience. You can recognize it through subtle signs: the heaviness in your limbs, the fog in your thoughts, the inability to start things you care about, the sudden fatigue when you think about doing something, the guilt that comes from not doing enough, even when you're exhausted, the urge to distract yourself because being present feels too intense, the perfectionism that paralyzes you instead of motivating you, the quiet shame that whispers, "Everyone else can do this. Why can't I?" None of this is laziness. Laziness is a choice. Trauma responses are not. Now let's talk about something even deeper: the emotional memory. Trauma teaches the body that doing nothing is safer than doing something. It teaches the body that shutting down avoids failure, that not trying avoids pain, that freezing avoids criticism. So the body repeats these patterns even when life is no longer dangerous. Healing begins when someone stops asking, "Why am I like this?" and starts asking, "What is my nervous system protecting me from?" This one question changes everything. Because when people understand their freeze response, they stop fighting themselves. They stop shaming themselves. They stop thinking they're broken. Instead, they begin to see that their body is trying to help them. It just hasn't updated its strategies yet. This brings us to the framework: a gentle, compassionate sequence that helps the body feel safe enough to move again. It's not a productivity hack. It's not a motivational speech. It's a nervous system recalibration. The first step is recognition. The moment you feel yourself shutting down, say softly inside, "My body is trying to protect me." That shifts you from self-attack to understanding. The second step is locating. Ask yourself, where do I feel the freeze in my body? Maybe it's the chest, the stomach, the throat, the shoulders. Putting awareness on it brings you into the body instead of the mind. The third step is softening. Not relaxing completely, just imagining a gentle 5% softening in that area. The fourth step is permission. Instead of forcing yourself, say, "I'm allowed to go slowly. I don't need to rush." This tells the nervous system it is safe. The fifth step is micro-movement. Choose the smallest possible version of the task. Not the whole email, just the subject line. Not the whole room, just one object. This teaches the body that movement doesn't equal danger. And the final step is acknowledgement. When you take even a tiny step, say inwardly, "We did it. And we survived." This rewires the trauma response. You are not broken. You are not lazy. You are healing from carrying too much for too long. And your body is trying, in the only way it knows, to keep you safe. With compassion, slowness, and understanding, that same body can learn safety again. And when it does, your energy returns naturally. If this spoke to you, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this message with someone who needs to know that their shutdown is not a failure. It's a survival story.